13 ABC Action News presents Bridges, connecting our community with information about issues and opportunities. Now, here is Donnie Miller.
Hey, good Sunday morning and welcome to Bridges. If you don't think the actions of a 4-year-old can change the world, well, you've not met Hannah Turner. You will this morning. She's here along with her family and her brother Caleb and her dad Vic to talk about this project, this wonderful project called Hannah Socks. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Miss Hannah Turner.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming this morning. I know you had to get up awfully early to be here. Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. Caleb.
Hi.
Hi. Glad you're here today. Hi, Vic. Thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing these great kids. Somebody tell me about Hannah Socks. Caleb, can you tell me what Hannah Socks is all about?
Well, it's mostly about giving socks to homeless people who don't have anything.
And how did this idea come up? That's a pretty good idea. Did Hannah have something to do with that? A little bit, huh? Vic, as I understand the story, Hannah and her mom were serving dinner at the Salvation Army. Is that right?
Actually, it was a Cherry Street mission.
Okay.
It was Thanksgiving of 2004, and Doris is my wife. She and I had taken our 3 oldest children. Caleb and Hannah are 2 of them, and their older brother Robert had gone with us because we wanted to show them that it's important to serve and to give back in our community.
And we should say that you have 8 children at home.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So we took the 3 oldest, and Hannah happened to notice a man there whose shoes were very badly split. It was clear he didn't have any socks. And so she kind of stared at him, as kids will, for a while, and then tugged on Doris's sleeve and said, "Mommy, won't his feet be cold?" Well, Doris, of course, realizing how busy Cherry Street Mission gets when they're giving, special holiday dinners, didn't want Hannah to worry about it and just said, "Well, honey, his shoes will keep his feet warm." But Hannah didn't believe it, and a few minutes later, Doris looked down and saw Hannah sitting on the floor with her shoes off and asked her, "Honey, what are you doing?" And Hannah said, "Mommy, he can have my socks."
Oh, wow.
And so that inspirational moment is really the genesis of Hannah Socks.
Hannah, were you worried about him? Because
Yes.
he didn't have socks? What did you think was going to happen to him?
His feet were going to get cold.
And you didn't want his feet to get cold? So you're going to give him your socks? But now you collect socks for people. So this started actually in 2003?
2004, right.
2004.
Right.
How many socks? I actually heard that you guys have collected 20,000 pair this year alone.
Almost 20,000. We're just shy this year. But let me back up a little bit. Going back to 2004, the next day, Doris and Hannah went shopping, and they bought 100 pairs of socks, took them to the Cherry Street Mission.
And didn't tell you. I heard about that.
Yes, they did not tell me that they went to do this. No.
Right.
In fact, it was a couple of years before I actually found out. You see, that day I was with Robert and Caleb, and Doris had Hannah with her, so we were kind of divide and conquer, with all the,
with
all the people
kids,
that were being served. Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't find that out. Well, they did the same thing in 2005, and then in 2006, and one of the people that works at the mission had said, "This is great. We get all kinds of stuff given to us, but nobody gives us socks. Would you guys be willing to do this as a ministry or as an outreach or something? Because that's one thing we don't get." And so Doris and I talked about it last Thanksgiving of 2006 and decided this kind of compassion in a 4-year-old's heart is something we want to encourage in all of our children.
Right.
And so we decided we've got to do something. We can't just let this opportunity go by. We didn't know how to do it or what we were going to do, but we decided we would start a charity, and we call it Hannah Socks in honor of Hannah and the inspiration that she had.
And you guys have actually incorporated now.
Yes, we are. We began that in January of this year here in the state of Ohio. We are licensed. We are, in fact, a limited liability company, and we've got a number of people that work with us. Our executive director happens to be my stepson, Keith, lives in Cincinnati, and we have some other folks, friends of mine, volunteers in the family that have come on board to help us out.
And you have a website actually too, and we're going to talk about the website a little later. And we have, we've got it on the screen for you. It's actually just called, you can get to that website by typing in hannahsocks.org.
hannahsocks.org.
Yes. And it takes you right to that site, explains everything you need to know about this terrific organization. But before you do that, I want you to pay attention to Vic, who's here today to tell us more about this terrific organization. So how do you actually collect the socks?
Well, what we've done, instead of having to buy them all ourselves, which is pretty much what we were doing the first couple of years, we've gone to community organizations, to schools, to churches, to businesses, and we've found a lot of reception from different groups in the community in the surrounding greater Toledo area. And so we do socks drives. We give them a socks box, and a business, let's say, will take a box, and they'll just have their employees or customers will donate socks to that box, and then come and tell us, hey, we got a full box of socks here for you, and we get the socks, and we take them to our home where we currently run it out of, and we just distribute them as needed to the homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters.
Caleb, what do you think the best thing about Hannah's socks is? What do you think the best thing about giving these socks away is?
Giving socks to homeless people.
Kind of make sure that their feet are warm. It's an easy thing for us to do, isn't it? Yeah. Do you talk to your kids, your friends at school about giving socks? Not very much? You should think about doing that. You should think about doing that. You could collect socks from the kids at school for Hannah's Socks Project. So the project actually, is it focused just here in Lucas County or Toledo?
That's kind of where we started, obviously, because of our connection with Cherry Street, but we've branched out beyond that. We also do a domestic violence shelter in Wood County.
You take socks to the domestic violence shelter?
Yes, we do. And we also collect other things as well. We do collect underwear. You know, these things, of course, have to be new. We do require that they're new. We do, in the wintertime, do the gloves and hats and scarves and give those as well. But we do not just here. We've also started to collect for Cincinnati. We have like I said, my stepson's down there. He's our executive director, and anything that they collect stays there in Cincinnati. What we collect here in this area stays in the Toledo, greater Toledo area.
Does Hannah help deliver? Do you help deliver the socks?
Oh, yes.
You do. You help your daddy deliver?
Yes.
Or do you do the primary delivery to the...
We do some of it. Sometimes the organizations will come to us and pick them up. So it's kind of 50-50, I would say.
Is any organization eligible for this? Because obviously there's so much need in town right now.
Whoever has a need, basically, that's who we want to serve.
It doesn't have to be an organization. It could be just someone who would call you?
Yeah, we've basically focused on that just because we're trying to have, a wider impact. We have to think of it as casting our net as widely as possible at this point. So we've done primarily organizations, but there have been some where it's been more, a complex, let's say, of a small group of people in a particular apartment complex or something like that. That certainly our goal is not to turn people away. It's to help those who have a need, and we want to help meet that need.
It sounds like it's growing faster than you anticipated it to grow.
Very much so.
Really? And is your goal ultimately to make it statewide? You're in Cincinnati now, but is that just because your son-in-law is here?
Well, that's kind of the hook, if you will. Mm-hmm. But no, we're hoping even to go beyond that. And in fact, our website, we're starting to get email responses from from Chicago, from Maine. We've had a couple from Arizona, several from Florida. So it's becoming quite a little industry, if you will. And we're really blessed with that by the fact that we're being able to reach out and to bring people to do something good for people who have a definite need.
You had a holiday drive going on right now. Could you tell me about that?
Well, we do every year. We do what we call a socks drive around the holidays. We want to again capture that spirit of giving, and so we had 33 different locations that had socks boxes this year, and almost all of them came back pretty much full. And again, that's a wide variety. That's churches and businesses, organizations. So we've done a lot with that to kind of get people involved in doing something that doesn't cost a lot. Socks aren't that expensive.
Right.
Anybody can give a pair of socks. And that's one of the reasons we've reached out to schools. School kids need socks, but it's also something they can do in terms of giving them as well. Mm-hmm. So it's been a real blessing and a real opportunity for us to reach out.
Does Hannah know how big this has really gotten?
I'm not sure it's fully sunk in with her yet. She understands that we're doing something that is really helped a lot of people.
important.
Yes.
Do you understand how important this really is? You guys are helping thousands and thousands of people just because of you and Bingo.